Deja vu. It's like we've been here before. Welcome back.
Start over.
Nah, fuck you. I'm keeping this in. Welcome back to episode 2.
You mean episode 2.2, Mr. I fucked up the recording?
Well, no.
No,
Hold on.
they
That's
don't
not
need to
canon.
know about that.
It's
Yeah,
not
yo,
canon.
it's not. That's like a rally beating beers, yo. It's not canon.
Wait, that happened?
That's besides the point. It's your boy Hawkwing here again.
This is Akuma.
And me, the channel owner, Felix, also known as
It's
Incognito.
going on too long. Now,
It's going on too long.
let's move on past the unimportant people and on to the important people, Akuma, in Street Fighter V.
The character Akuma, or Goki if you're not American or
Anyway,
Western.
So Akuma is going to be in Street Fighter V, despite what Ono originally said, even though it can be misinterpreted as him being Ono. I don't know.
Well, no, he never said that it wasn't Akuma. He just said it's not necessarily Akuma. He didn't lie. He just didn't.
He didn't lie per se, but he didn't tell the truth.
Well, he did tell the truth. He just didn't give a confirmation onto who the character was.
I find it ironic that it's literally been like a week between him saying that and him coming out on stage like,
I love how part of the article that we'll be linking actually says a staple of the Street Fighter series ever since his secret appearance in Street Fighter II Turbo. Akuma is a savage.
He is.
he
He's
looks
always
like
been
a damn savage. Oh, looks like he avoided every barbershop for like 15 years.
I don't understand how like you look more savage when you have like a pair of shoes than the person who runs around with no fucking shoes at all.
Parachute, but then again, he has a pair of shoes and fucking ropes like wrapped around his hands in order to.
Oh, true. This man don't even got like the training gloves or nothing. But he I don't like his design in the new game. I think he looks like garbage.
I think he looks like Mufasa. He looks like any one of the Lion King males, really.
At least he looks like he plays kind of.
Yeah, the way he plays.
Well, yeah, his play style looks dope. Like it looks really fucking good. Like he has, I think they made like Demon Flip it's like a fucking upward hidden move when you EX it. I mean, that's what I saw in the trailer.
But here's something that I just noticed. You guys remember how at the end of the trailer, by the way, the trailer, it actually mentioned there's going to be 5 new characters. Here's something I'm reading, the 2017 Character Pass. I'll read it verbatim. If you want to be in the best shape for 2017, the 2017 Character Pass also releases on December 20th for $30, and will grant pass holders with Akuma in addition to 5 brand new fighters to join the fray throughout 2017. Does that mean that they're necessary?
What do you mean?
No.
It's necessary to buy the. I mean, it's necessary to buy.
No.
No, because they had a season pass for the first season of DLC as well.
And besides, you can buy everything for air quotes. Free.
No, not everything. Just the characters.
The characters and the stages.
Oh yeah, and not the costumes though. You gotta pay money for those.
Can't you do survival mode?
No, I mean like the Capcom Pro Tour costumes, like all of the Halloween shit.
One of Ryu's costumes that are going to come out is called B-Boy Ryu.
Is it the return of the nigga Ryu from Street Fighter 4?
Nah, it's a new one. It's like New York attire on. Flavor Flav.
He got the New York. He got the New York Yankees hat on with the Timbs and the white beater.
One thing we can look forward to in season 2, they're calling it, because Killer Instinct made it very popular to call DLC for your fighting game seasons, but
at least
we can look forward to Knuckle Dude designing a costume for one of the characters.
Well, let's talk about those characters because they're 5 new, and they said new. So does that mean they're new?
Well, the guy on stage, the director, said that they're totally new to the Street Fighter universe. And basically that means that they've never been in a Street Fighter game before. But it's kind of weird because one of the outlines that they show is clearly the girl from the story mode with the Russian hat.
You know, it's really cool to have new characters in this Capcom fighter. You know what other Capcom fighter has a new character? The character named Miss Captain Marvel. Fuck, I already fucked it all up.
Oh, who gives a fuck about Captain Marvel, to be honest?
My boy X.
Mega Man X
Marvel versus
is in
Capcom
Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. I'm hype. I'm ready. I will be pre-ordering that game, and I will
be showed gameplay of it after Capcom Cup Finals, and the gameplay looks very.
It looks very a cross between Tatsunoko and
Cross Tekken.
Cross Tekken.
But that's okay. Like it looks cool. And some things that we can infer or have been confirmed is that it's going to be 2 versus 2, and there are no assists, allegedly.
Wait, they actually confirmed straight up no assists? I thought that was just a lot of
no assists. That's what they said. No assists.
But
which
can you
crazy.
call in can you call in your partner?
No.
Well, you can do tag combos, which they showed.
Tag combos, but there's no assists like in the older games.
Which already means Morrigan is nerfed because she got no fucking dual missiles.
Good.
Well, the cool thing about this altogether is the fact that, well, it's a new Marvel vs. Capcom, but the Infinite comes from, or at least I'm assuming comes from the fact that they have the Infinity Stones, which if you look at it, you can see Ryu go, Power Stone!
Yeah, it's all when he said Power Stone, I got a little mad because I thought it was a Power Stone character, but...
Well, maybe there will be a Power Stone character
you
this
think
time.
that the Infinite is a reference to the Infinity Stones, but it's actually a reference to the game's community and what they'll find once they get access to it.
I hope that. I really hope not. And you guys may not care about it, but I looked at Miss Marvel. I thought she looked... Well, the fact is they're using her best design. Well, her second best design.
I like that design a little bit more than... the black one with the lightning bolt on the chest. I just think I like the one that's in the game more than the one with the fucking dyke haircut. It looks like complete garbage.
Yeah, I really don't like that one. And it's really weird because artists will draw her like that. I think Ben writing Civil War 2, but I don't know if she had that haircut in there. I really have this. She does have that weird mohawk mask thing that she wears though in one of her supers. But and that is the fact that it's her going into Matrix / Warbird mode where she gets super powered. But talking about characters on there, X-Men characters, everybody thinks there's going to be none of them.
That was the common speculation when people were still thinking it was going to be called Marvel vs. Capcom 4. And the basis is in some pretty faulty logic.
The basis, it makes a little bit of sense because everybody thinks, Marvel, the Marvel Studios is not really getting along with 20th Century Fox, who have the rights to the X-Men movies, so everyone thinks that they're not going to share the X-Men and promote them. But X-Men has a bunch of comics that are coming out soon, and I was actually just looking at them. I'll put a link in the description. Well, Felix will put a link in the description.
I'll put a link in the description.
But essentially, there's going to be, I think, 5 or 6. And they're going to all be focused on the main characters in the Marvel universe. There's obviously going to be one with Jean Grey because she's apparently really a big, much bigger than she was before. Where apparently now she gets her own comic and stuff. Then there's also going to be one with Generation X, which are all the super weirdos, including Jubilee, who is currently a vampire still.
Nobody cares. See, look, the one thing I'm really not looking forward to the Capcom side or to the Marvel side of the roster. Yes, thank you for correcting me. It's not like I was going to correct myself, but
well, excuse me.
Excuse you. The Capcom side, I'm very hopeful for the fact that they put X in the game, a fan favorite character who a lot of people thought Capcom just forgot about. The fact that he's in the game, and I don't know. I don't know if Capcom will go the full mile and put Gene in the game, who was another very requested character.
They better put Gene in the game.
Well, I can speak for the most part what I think the Marvel side will be, because if you look at their upcoming slate of things, like Black Panther is almost like definite at this point. No, they have to promote it, especially seeing as the fact that like Black Panther's showing in Civil War was so well received. So it would only make sense. So Black Panther's gonna be in there. I can't see they're gonna have Spider-Man, and that, like, come on, they're gonna have Spider-Man. But we talked about that last week. If you want to check that out, just run back to our old podcast and you'll hear it. But let's move on before we get too enamored with the idea of who could possibly be this mysterious characters and etc. Blah blah blah.
Another thing announced at PSX this past weekend was, of course, everybody's favorite, Knack is getting a sequel.
The Knack is back.
Knack 2, the Knack
such
Attack.
A boring game. It doesn't have like any sort of like gameplay. I mean, it's not a bad game. It's just I don't think it's really that interesting. Maybe it's like for kids or something. I don't know.
Definitely, there are like a generation of kids who grow up with the PS4 as their first console, and Knack is just one of those launch platformers that, you know, the first game may not be great, but the sequel could. I actually have high hopes and expectations for Knack 2, because if Sony has shown anything, is that when they have a mascot character and they make a sequel game, it's usually much, much better. Like with Ratchet and Clank and with Sly Cooper. I would go so far as to say that the first Sly Cooper game was a bad game.
I disagree, but that's besides the point.
Well, no, I think that Knack I think Knack is different, because I don't think Knack has. I honestly don't think Knack has any personality like Sly, like say Sly Cooper or Jack and Daxter or Ratchet and Clank, and not personality in the way that he's big and talkative. I mean, I think it's just his design's pretty bleh. And it might just be the fact that I come from the age of furry characters being mascots dominate all ideals, but I just don't think that Knack really is interesting, in not just consider the gameplay, because you know Knack is a tech demo. Knack was basically a tech demo for the PS4 to show that they could have a bunch of small parts moving in a character.
Yeah.
So maybe the game. I mean, it's 2 players now.
I mean, the first game had, I think it did. I think it had a multiplayer mode, co-op mode. So I guess they're really focusing on that this time around, since a lot of it was in the trailer.
How come it's not called Knack 2 Knack Attack?
Because why isn't it called like Knacks, and then the next game will be Knack Resurrection?
No, the next one will be Knack Cubed. Knack 2 Electric Boogaloo Knack Attack.
Speaking of unnecessary sequels, The Last of Us 2, or The Last of Us Part 2, is what they closed off the conference with. And it looked like it was
a CGI trailer.
Yeah, there was no gameplay, but it looked like the protagonist this time, like the central character, is gonna be Ellie.
Ellie. Ellie is she has much more mileage as a character than Joel. Joel's entire character arc began and ended in Last of Us. He went from being a grumpy old man to having something he cared about and proven that he would do literally anything in order to protect it. So now it's Ellie's turn, and from what it seems like Ellie's going out for revenge, a la Metal Gear Solid 5, and
punished Ellie.
Such a lust for revenge.
Well, if you actually looked at her, she had a big scar on her forehead, and she seemed to have a bite mark on her neck from one of the, like a clicker or something. By the way, I'm actually a huge fan of Last of Us. I know there are a lot of people who have that game has a lot of polarizing opinions, but I'm actually a big fan of Last of Us. Maybe it'll be I don't know what they're going to do with the gameplay this time. I don't know how they could possibly change it up to make it better.
If you're primarily playing as Ellie, I don't think that if you get bit by a zombie, or what did they call them?
What did they call them actually?
They were like cordyceps.
It was the cordyceps that infected them. I think they just called them the infected.
Yeah, but if we're talking about gameplay, I think that shouldn't be an instant kill anymore if you get bit, since Ellie is immune.
Well, that's the thing. You could play as Ellie in a few parts in the original game, and if you got bit by a clicker, you're dead, because the thing is they bite you and they usually like rip out your throat and stuff. And man, I can tell you there was some very horrific.
The reason
deaths.
Why they did that was probably just so like they didn't have to like rebalance the entire part of the game where you're playing as Ellie in winter, because it's only a few parts of the game.
Well, it was weird with that game because there was only, I think technically there was only one boss fight in that game, and it was with that one guy who was, spoilers for anyone who hadn't played it, but there was a boss who ate people, and he was gonna probably eat Ellie too.
Spoilers for a 5-year-old game.
Maybe people haven't played it. I don't know. Maybe people will go back and play it now that the second game came out.
Well, since we're in spoiler territory, I think that the theory that's been going around on the internet is that Joel, who you see in the trailer, is actually like he died before the events of the game, and he's just gonna be like Call of Duty Black Ops, that one character who's just a hallucination. Yeah. And I don't know if they do that, because it's a little cliche, but
it's a little cliche, but like Last of Us itself is pretty cliche. Let's be fair.
Baby girl.
Come here, baby girl. I would like to see Joel back at some capacity, even if it's only a hallucination. I like Joel. He was like probably one of my favorite characters, all in all. And I know he's kind of unlikable, but I kind of like how unlikable he is, and how likable he becomes. Well, then again, becomes unlikable too.
Back on Last of Us 2, I don't really think it would be a good idea to kill off, and this goes for any game, to kill off the main character off screen. It just seems fucking. It just seems like kind of fucking tacky. I've never liked when that happens.
I never liked the video game sequels where the protagonist of the first game is suddenly a villain in the second game, but thankfully in this case you played as the villain in the first game, so
I think it's fine to at least let you play it more as Ellie now, because from my understanding people liked Ellie, or at least got to like her more so than Joel. I like Joel more, but people seem to like Ellie more. But the problem is that Ellie's going to be like an entirely different character now, because in the first game she was fucking cracking wise and Jesus Joel and etc. But now she seems kind of edgy.
Well, I mean, and there's one more thing I wanted to bring up is that I believe a dev or a writer had said in an interview before that if there was a Last of Us sequel, it wouldn't be a direct sequel. But it's interesting that their perspectives have changed, probably because, the almighty dollar is popular, so it will make more money if you make these characters come back. But speaking of a franchise that just seeks to make money by just using the name of the franchise, there is a new Getter Robo manga?
If you can even call that Getter Robo.
Somebody sighed. Who sighed?
If y'all didn't know, I'm a huge Getter Robo fan. Getter Robo Armageddon is my favorite fucking anime of all time.
Just all around,
I
right?
read the fucking manga. Yes, all around. I did everything I fucking watched. That's it. And fucking, I read the mangas. I read all of the fucking main parts by Ken Ishikawa. Fucking, I don't understand why they would make this. And this goes for some of the side story things that they do for Getter Robo. It just seems fucking tacky. Like, I wouldn't read this shit if it wasn't fucking Getter Robo. Like, I'm gonna read it just cause they had the fucking name on it. But riding off the fucking brand. And they're not even doing anything cool with it.
If you don't know what we're talking about, it's a new Getter Robo inspired Mahjong manga. And it looks like it's a recipe for success, right? Because you got Getter Robo. Nothing inspired by Getter Robo has ever been bad. You got Mahjong. Every single Mahjong anime / manga has been great. And you got a female protagonist, and females are better than men.
Just turn the shit posting up to a 10, didn't you? But yeah, it's for people who probably haven't seen it. It's called Getter Robo High, so it's going to actually be like how do I whatever. According to the article, I'll just read it a little bit for verbatim real quick. The word high in the title is spelled with the kanji character for mahjong tile. So maybe it won't be high school? Maybe?
No, it will be. No, definitely.
I can't see it not being a high school, because it's like, if you look at the main heroine, number one, if you look at the main heroine, she looks kind of like Akuma from Street Fighter V now, because she's got like crazy red hair and she looks like she needs a shave. But she looks like a high school student, or at least Japan's weird interpretation of an anime high school student, where a female high school student wearing shorts and
it's fucking. It's not the worst thing that could happen, but Getter Robo as a franchise has been like declining over the years. It doesn't get as much love as Mazinger.
I mean, I can't really speak much because I don't know like tons about Getter Robo. I've watched a few Getter Robo things with you, and I enjoyed Armageddon, and we watched was it Armageddon we watched?
Yeah, we watched Armageddon and Shin versus Neo.
Yeah, and I watched I was about to say Shin Mazinger. I watched Shin Getter myself by myself alone, and I enjoyed that actually. I actually enjoyed that one.
I don't know. It just seems like it's not a market for things like Getter Robo nowadays, and I understand that, but fucking let the brand die instead of fucking pulling this bullshit. Fuck.
Definitely.
Yeah, I don't understand. I don't understand in whose mind they were like, Get a Robo, we have the rights to this. Let's turn it into a mahjong. Like, really? Is mahjong actually still like super popular in Japan?
With the old people, I'm assuming.
Allegedly.
Well, it could be worse. It could have been a Go. It could have been about Go.
Oh yeah, that's pretty bad.
I mean, when was the last time a fucking Go manga was actually popular? I mean, like shit. But let's move on to the next subject, which would be so apparently the UK is banning, quote, violent pornography.
Yeah, I heard about this, and it's kind of ridiculous in a way that you don't believe that it's actually happening, but this is like a government thing. Like, what was the list of things that they were including in this ban?
Well, just to bring a little more point to what you were saying, before I give the list, just let me read off a little bit of what they said. Pornography produced in the UK was quietly censored today, quietly being the operative word here, through an amendment to the 2003 Communications Act, and the measures appear to take aim at female pleasure. So this is what these are the things that were censored, or quote unquote censored. Spanking, caning, aggressive whipping, penetration with any object associated with violence, physical or verbal abuse if consent, urolagnia, I guess known as water sports, whatever. Role playing as yes, peeing on people, so no R. Kelly. Role playing as non-adults, physical restraint, humiliation, female ejaculation, strangulation, face sitting, and fisting. The final three listed under as the BBFC views as potentially life endangering. So,
I mean, face sitting can be life endangering if the ass is too fat.
True.
That and strangulation, yeah, okay. Strangulation's one of the ones where it's like, I can understand, but that still shouldn't be something that you can take out, that you can like ban, especially when you consider the fact that if it's two consenting adults, unless the person's killing somebody or like eating them, in the case of that one really, really weird incident that happened a couple of years ago.
I don't want to know.
Is it really like that big of a
censoring deal? Porn is like a fucking oxymoron. It's like, how can you determine that these fetishes are more detrimental or degenerate than other ones? Like, I mean, they didn't even censor feet, so I mean, do they really care about people's purity? Like,
well, here's the weird.
I feel like it's just a thing where they just want to fucking. I don't know.
Manny state. If you're from the UK,
citizens.
If you're from the UK, like, leave a comment if you know more about this.
But, yeah, I would like to know how they're actually going about this, because I know in some countries, I think in Australia, it's actually illegal to own pornography. I might be speaking.
It's like weird. It's like in Australia, they like make it so that flat-chested women can't have porn of flat-chested women because it's close to child pornography. It's like, what the fuck?
Well, that kind of falls in line with one of the bans here, because it's role-playing as non-adults. So that means, like, say a girl was dressed up as a schoolgirl,
which is ridiculous, because that's like, there goes 30% of porn on the internet.
Well, this is the one that I actually find the weirdest. Physical or verbal abuse, regardless of if consensual. So that's absolutely stupid. But I guess for now we'll call this a day. There's not real. We've come to the end of our topics, and unless somebody has anything else to say.
No, I'm good.
So once again, this is Akuma Soul, Hawkwing, and Felix. And if you guys want to say more, if you guys want to talk to us, send messages, post stuff in the comments, because we basically always respond to everything that's said. Even if you just want to say we're shit, just go ahead and post it. We don't.
You say that shit in my face, you know. Had them hands, you know. Fuck out of here with that shit.